Todd Chrisley no longer working at Prison Chapel, his attorney says. The reality star, 55, is currently serving time at Federal Prison Camp Pensacola, where POPLE can confirm that he was removed from his job as an assistant to the chaplain. His attorney, Jay Sargent, tells POPL that he was removed from his position due to associating with inmates who are part of the prison's residential drug abuse program. Sargent says that Todd also lost access to a small office in the chapel where he did his volunteer work, and is very disappointed and upset that he can no longer participate in the administration of the setup for religious services at Pensacola, which includes Christian, Jewish, and Muslim services. He tells PUPIL that Todd feels he was removed from his duties without cause, but it has not affected his firm belief that in the end, God will work things out for him, Julie, and his family. For privacy reasons, we do not comment on the conditions of confinement for any incarcerated individual, including their work detail assignments. A representative for the Federal Bureau of Prisons told TMZ, which first reported the news. While Julie's 7-year prison sentence was vacated in June after federal judges ruled that her case had insufficient evidence, her original sentencing was upheld last month after a judge ruled that her original punishment was sufficient. That's the only dreams that I've had recently. It's just her coming home and her being at home to the point that, like, I wake up and I'm kind of, disoriented, she said on the August 13 episode of her Unlocked podcast. I'm like, wait, what is happening? Because it feels so real, she said. And I'm trying not to get my hopes up because, let's face it, a lot of things within this legal battle have not gone our way. So I expect the worst, and anything else that is better than that is a win. Todd Chrisley, once the patriarch of a family empire built on Southern charm and wit, is facing a new chapter in his incarceration. The once glamorous life he portrayed on Chrisley Knows Best has long faded, replaced by the stark reality of prison life. What made headlines recently, however, is not just the legal battle he and his wife, Julie, have been entangled in, but a surprising twist in Todd's daily routine behind bars. He's no longer working at the prison chapel. This news came to light through his attorney, who provided a statement that left many fans and followers of the Chrisley family intrigued. Todd had been using his time at the chapel not only as a form of rehabilitation, but as a way to maintain some semblance of his former life. A life where he was seen as a father figure and a leader, roles that working in the chapel mirrored in a small, yet significant way. His attorney, keen to manage the public narrative, explained that Todd's departure from his duties at the prison chapel wasn't due to misconduct or any form of punishment. Instead, the reason behind the change was simply a shift in prison staffing needs and Todd's evolving role within the facility. According to his legal team, Todd had proven himself a dedicated worker during his time at the chapel, but prison is nothing if not a place of constant change, and inmates are often reassigned based on the needs of the institution. For Todd, working at the chapel had been a lifeline. He found a renewed sense of purpose within its walls, leading Bible studies, assisting with services, and offering moral support to other inmates. The work gave him a chance to reflect on his past decisions, to connect with his faith, and to feel useful in an environment where that feeling can be hard to come by. The chapel became his sanctuary, a place where the burdens of fame, scandal, and financial ruin could, for a few hours, be left behind. But now, with that chapter closed, questions arise about how Todd will adjust to this new phase of his incarceration. For a man who built his identity on control, controlling his family's image, his business empire, and his life, it's clear that prison has tested him in ways unimaginable. Losing his role at the chapel may seem like a small event to outsiders, but for Todd, it could signify a deeper loss, one that challenges his ability to find meaning in the confines of his new reality. The chapel job had allowed Todd to stay connected to the world beyond the prison walls, in a way that aligned with the persona he cultivated for years on television. A man who, despite his flaws, sought redemption and claimed to live by a moral code rooted in faith. The irony, of course, is that Todd's public downfall was precipitated by a series of actions that contradicted that very image. Tax evasion, fraud, and a lavish lifestyle funded by deceit. His chapel work seemed like a step toward personal redemption, an acknowledgement that faith could offer the salvation the courts couldn't provide. Without that role, Todd is now left to find a new path forward in an environment where his old ways of controlling the narrative won't work. Prison life is rigid, ruled by structure and protocol, leaving little room for the kind of improvisation Todd thrived on in his previous life. His attorney has assured the public that Todd is doing well and adjusting to the changes. But it's hard not to wonder what's really going on behind the scenes. The chapel may have been more than just a job for Todd. It was his outlet, his therapy, and his way of clinging to a part of himself that wasn't defined by his crimes. Todd's wife, Julie, is also serving time in a different facility, and their separation has added another layer of strain to their situation. The couple who once dominated reality TV with their banter and close-knit family dynamic are now forced to face the harsh reality of life apart. Their children, Savannah and Chase, have spoken publicly about their parents' ordeal, maintaining their innocence and calling the justice system flawed. But while the Chrisley family continues to support Todd from the outside, inside, he is on his own. In the wake of losing his chapel duties, Todd will likely have to find new ways to pass the time and stay productive. Whether that means taking on a new role within the prison or finding other outlets for his faith and leadership remains to be seen. His attorney's statement emphasized that Todd remains focused on his faith, suggesting that even without the chapel, he will continue to seek solace and guidance through his religious beliefs. What's clear is that this latest development in Todd Chrisley's life is another reminder of how far he has fallen from the heights of reality TV stardom. Once known for his sharp wit, extravagant spending, and over-the-top family drama, Todd is now just another inmate navigating the challenges of prison life. Yet even behind bars, his story captivates the public, offering a complex tale of rise, fall, and the long road to redemption. Whether Todd will regain his position at the chapel or find another meaningful role remains uncertain, but one thing is for sure: this journey is far from over. For a man who once controlled every aspect of his image, the unpredictability of his current situation must be a constant source of frustration. But perhaps in the stillness of prison, without the distractions of fame and fortune, Todd Chrisley will come to terms with who he really is and what kind of life he wants to lead when he eventually walks free. As his attorney pointed out, this is just another phase in Todd's rehabilitation process. The public may see it as a fall from grace, but for Todd, it could very well be an opportunity for introspection, growth, and a chance to reshape his narrative once again. This time, not for the cameras, but for himself.